Yo, everybody, it's your boy Joseph here,
And Carlos,
and this is
the
The
passenger
Passenger
seat.
Seat. All right, welcome, writers, to a new video of The Passenger Seat in the year 2022. Doo, doo, doo,
Oh yeah, it's true.
doo.
This is the year 20. Yeah, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed your New Year's Eve and all your resolutions come true. I guess if you made any.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I had a good time on New Year's. Super weird. I drank a lot, but I was like stone cold sober by the end of the night, which is very weird.
That is very strange. You eat a lot of fast food.
No, no, it's
Oh.
I drink and I automatically start sweating a lot. So I think the only way I get like tipsy or drunk is if I stay like in a very cold room and drink. Um.
Mm.
So yeah. Anyways, parentheses to that because YouTube guidelines. Drink responsibly. Um. Anyways.
All right.
um.
Well, speaking about the new year, we'd like to get into a topic where in this new year, a couple movies are going to be coming out. Because me and Joseph and I guess, would you say that like we're bigger DC fans than
Oh yeah.
Marvel?
I'm definitely a bigger DC fan than Marvel.
So we're going to be talking about the DC cinematic universe
Mm.
and everything. I guess our opinions mainly. We're not going to try to explain every single movie to you guys. We're just going to sort of go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and begin. I mean, let's just break the ice on this one.
Okay.
The DCEU is not so great, right?
It's
Um,
yeah. The I think the beginning was rough.
yeah, I mean, it's still kind of rocky.
Mm,
Uh,
makes sense.
what are the latest movies you can think of that DC has dropped? The latest one
I think it was Suicide Squad.
was it Suicide? Okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. And before that was Wonder Woman, 1984.
1984. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman 1984 was very awkward. I mean, it got mixed reviews. It really wasn't as good as the first one. And yeah, I mean it's just hit and miss with DC, and
The DC.
most times it's misses versus hits. And well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say my thoughts on that. I feel like DC is trying too hard. I feel like DC is trying to copy or trying to take from Marvel's sort of formula, like their magic formula that they have for their movies.
I
And
I I do agree that I think they're going too fast because they're trying to keep up.
yeah, but my thing with DC is that they're better off playing to their strengths. And I
Mm.
think the dark, gritty DC that we've come to know and love is the DC that we should see on the big screen, you know? Because I think that's one of the greatest things about DC is how like really into the muck they can get versus Marvel, which they like, at least the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they like to keep things very light, very comedic.
Yeah.
There's not too much dark in there, you know?
No, I agree. I think well, right off the bat with what was it, Man of Steel was the one who started the DC Cinematic Universe. For me, Man of Steel was a good movie, and I feel like they were starting out in a really good run. But I feel like where they fell off the boat was when they made Batman v Superman. It would I think DC has just this thing where they want to like put so many comic book stories like all together, and sometimes it just doesn't come out, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Obviously, Zack Snyder, I appreciate Zack Snyder because you could tell that he's very into comics, and he
Hmm.
likes grabbing from the source material, and he likes this imagery where it looks like a comic. I really appreciate that. And I guess I really can't take away the fact that they have perfect casting for me. Like I think their casting is pretty spot on. when it comes to
Oh,
their characters.
hmm.
Well, you thinking about the Flash?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Sorry, no offense to what's this guy's name?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra. Yeah, no offense to Ezra Miller, but I'm sorry, I don't see him as the Flash. And just putting this out there, I don't really think um Grant Gustin is his name, the guy who plays on
Mm,
CW.
yeah.
I don't think he's a good pick for the Flash either. That's just I love the Flash series on CW, but I don't like him as the Flash. That's not how I picture the Flash.
Mm,
Same thing happens with Ezra Miller. I kind of don't like his suit at all. Um, and I'm really praying that they do well with the movie. Even though I don't really
Flashpoint.
have high hopes for it.
I will say that I don't know. I think people have a weird interpretation of Flash where they choose these guys who are really skinny.
Yeah,
But the issue for me with that is that you can't just like the Justice League movie, for example. You put Superman, Batman, Aquaman, huge, and then all of a sudden Flash looks too like. Okay, I understand Flash is skinnier than the rest of the guys, but he
of
was like
course.
skinny. Like there was like it almost looked like he didn't have muscle, and it was kind
Right,
of
right,
one of
right.
those things where it's like, okay, you can't make him too skinny because he's gonna look awkward next to everybody else. Because then for
Right.
me, he just looks like a little boy. I do agree with you that Ezra Miller might be the exception to the casting thing because, I mean, Margot Robbie, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, like amazing, amazing,
Yep.
amazing casting. And
Yep.
I will give them that, even though the scripts for their movies weren't as
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's a couple of movies coming out this year for the DC Cinematic Universe, and uh, what is that? We're expecting Shazam 2 for this year.
Shaz- I think Shazam 2, Aquaman 2 comes out in December,
Yes, I'm really
and
looking forward to
Flashpoint.
that one.
Oh, of
And
course.
Flashpoint. Oh, but dude, you're forgetting.
Which
Isn't
one?
Black Adam? Isn't Black Adam coming out this year?
Does it come out this year?
I think so. Anyways, uh, going back to the last point, you're totally right. Anytime I pictured Black Adam, I pictured The Rock. I
Yeah,
don't know if
good
that happened
casting.
to you. Before they even announced the movie,
Yeah,
I saw Black Adam and I was like, "Man, that looks kinda like The Rock."
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Honestly, like their casting is pretty on point, and
God.
I think it all depends how Flashpoint goes. Because
Mhm.
this is the interesting part I like about Flashpoint is because the DC sort of mucked things up in the beginning. Flashpoint is actually going to try to fix it by obviously Flash, going in the past, future, blah blah. When it comes
Course,
back, there's going to be this version of New 52, which
of
kind of
course.
takes away from all that whatever happened back then. The only issue I have with that is they're thinking about replacing Henry Cavill, and that's where I'm like, damn.
See, that here's my thing. I know that, there's a lot of ways they can go with that. It's very difficult, right? Because obviously this is the Superman of our generation, the same way that in the 60s you had this other, I can't remember his name for the
Christopher
life of
Reeve.
me. Thank you.
Mm.
And Christopher Reeves played that Superman for that generation, and that was Superman, but now Henry Cavill is our Superman.
Yeah,
And it's really hard to see someone else who isn't Henry Cavill, but at the same time, them coming with this new idea of the new 52, and I can see where they might go with that.
I I think one of the biggest issues people have, and obviously I don't want to go too deep into this because that's not what our channel is about. But there's I guess rumors that when that whole changes, the new Superman is the Black Superman.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, which I
so
find totally fine. I can't remember what was his name in like his alter ego.
I actually don't recall, but the only thing I do gotta say is if you're gonna bring him in, please bring him in as his own alter ego. I don't need him to say I'm Clark Kent, like, because then
Right,
I'll be like, oh, okay, now what are you doing? Because
right,
I want to give it a chance where Henry Cavill can show up again, you know.
right, right, right.
Obviously, Flashpoint. We also have Supergirl, which is following sort of under the same footsteps as the Superman idea because now the casting for Supergirl is a Latina. It's
Mm,
not your regular blonde white lady. It's actually a Latina. I don't know which version of Supergirl she's exactly playing, or if she's actually playing the Supergirl. I have no idea.
gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see.
Also, one thing that's really interesting is, as people who can see my shirt, one thing DC Universe is trying to do, which again, sort of following under the footsteps of Marvel, is TV shows surrounding the cinematic universe, and now they're releasing Peacemaker, and it's interesting to me because DC already technically has the CW,
Hmm.
but these TV shows are going to be centered around their cinematic universe. So we have Peacemaker. I think the other upcoming show for HBO is going to be the Green Lantern Corps.
Mm,
That would be interesting.
yes, so good, so good. Um, but yeah, I mean, personally my expectation for DC this year. I'm hoping that they knock it out of the park with their movies because here's the thing, and I know I may be a little biased, and I know this might tick some people off, but personally, I feel like DC, other than the cinematic universe, it's beating Marvel and everything else. I know that's a tough pill to swallow for some people, but personally for me, that's just debatable right there because when it comes to TV shows, when it comes to comics, when it comes to not just like live action TV shows, I'm talking about animated TV shows too and animated movies. I just feel like DC is so much better.
No, I totally agree. When it comes down to the other stuff, other than the movies, DC is pretty dominant. They're actually really dominant in the things they do. And obviously, if you, I mean, the movies probably made Marvel a little bit more famous, but if you were to go around the whole world and ask who Batman and Superman was, hands down, everyone's going to know. Because DC has this lineup where it's like they're the originals, you know?
Mhm.
Like you'll never, like you feel like everybody else is sort of a copycat of them, like
Right.
in The
R-
Boys.
Right.
So I agree. DC is definitely better at the other stuff.
That's why I said I'm really rooting for them this year. I hope they do a great job with their cinematic universe and they just keep doing really good films because otherwise they're just going to be on that same losing streak.
Oh yeah, honestly, their best film so far has to be Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and probably Suicide Squad 2. Did really
Is
well.
I'm assuming that this is the same case as the new Batman. The Joker doesn't fall into that category as well.
It does not, but man, was that a good movie.
What a great movie.
I wish
Mm,
Joaquin Phoenix would jump in it, but I guess their cinematic universe Joker is Jared Leto,
mm,
as he appeared in Suicide Squad and in the Snyder Cut on HBO, which is 4 hours long, but
mhm.
still pretty good, honestly. Really good. And in the Snyder Cut, they introduce like Martian Manhunter and like different characters like that. We do hope for the best for DC. This year, hopefully, we can get that bam excitement because right now with Suicide Squad 2 and Shazam and Aquaman and Wonder Woman, it kind of seems like maybe they could pick it up. Maybe they can actually like do this and do it correctly. And I really hope for the best. For the viewers out there, no sponsor. January 11th, 12, I believe. Peacemaker on HBO Max. If you guys want to go see it, it comes out that date.
Hey, there you go. I already got HBO Max. That's the good thing, because I don't have Disney and I can't watch the Marvel shows. So, so yeah. Anyways, is that all you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I guess that's all we can really talk about. I mean, I guess like I do want to mention to you guys that we're not here discussing this to try to diss DC because I don't want it to feel like we just talked a bunch of like crap about them
Hey,
because
what's got to be
it
said
is
has to be said.
it is honestly our favorite. Like DC, we appreciate it either way. You release a movie in the movie theater, I'm gonna go see it anyways. It's
Mhm.
just how it is.
Yes, sir. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on our videos. Tell us what your favorite DC movie is from the DC cinematic universe. I don't know, let us know who your favorite superhero is and go ahead and throw in some suggestions of things that you'd like to see on our channel that we could go ahead and come up with videos for.
I agree.
Mm. All right. So as always, thank you for joining us in the ride today, and hopefully you'll join us next time here in
The
the passenger
passenger seat.
seat.